What's up, y'all? We are back with Hey Mama Podcast, Pretty Women with Sense. We have Nas here, and he is our first guest, and we is excited.
So he is the real estate guru. He's the Duru, not the guru.
Not the guru, but the Duru.
I've been following him on Instagram for a minute. As far as I know, I've been seeing him in the streets of Charlotte, you know, networking and figuring out information. And I feel like it's very important for us to, get some information. He's been in Charlotte since 2008, and he's from Jersey. So
when I first moved down here, coming from Jersey in '08, this joint was super cheap.
Yeah.
A lot has changed.
A lot has changed. It was super cheap. I seen a lot of opportunity and down here, and it was lax. Like a lot of the guys down here were lax. Not so much today. These younger guys, they getting on it. When I say lax, it's like I'm coming from North Jersey, next to New York City, so I'm in North Jersey, and North Jersey, we pride ourselves. And is this cheap? Oh nah, this gonna be Candyland.
Right.
So
yeah. So what you doing up there? You was doing that same thing up there?
I flipped one house. Me and my man. I ended up losing like $7,000 a piece because we went to flip a house. When I moved down to '08, got caught up in the call centers down here, and for those who are watching, Charlotte, North Carolina, they number 2. At that time, it was number 2 biggest banking city. They number 3 now, but I was working in the call center at the banks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where you was getting your income from, and then you started doing houses.
Yeah. And I came down here with some savings, but yeah, like when I was my first job at Convergence, making $10 an hour.
I used to work for Convergence.
Yeah, everybody did. Yeah.
No, everybody did.
I know, literally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially because when I used to be out, when I was younger in my 20s, and I used to be, meeting and hollering at people. Everybody, they had a pit stop at Convergence or Wachovia, which is now Wells Fargo. They just had a pit. You just gonna stop doing.
Yeah, and they will let you in literally. Like it was a lot. There was probably a lot of people first job fresh out of high school. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Convergence and Accor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Accor was crazy.
Accor was more hood than Convergence.
It was, because I was at Synchrony, and Accor was right beside Synchrony on Tavola.
Right, because I went to an open house. Because when you work in the call center, you just jump from call center to call center.
Yep.
So Accor used to have, I went to like one open house. I went there and I'm like, yo, this is more hood than Convergence. I said, man, fortunately they ain't grabbed me up. And so eventually, like after 3 months, I got in Wachovia, which was a little bit more cooler. But yeah, but now Accor was hood. Convergence, it was more like 13th grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But back to Charlotte. But yeah, now it was cheap. The girls look good. They were nice. And CIAA, how you turned out.
Man,
what?
Listen.
That was a time to be alive.
Why they took CIAA?
That was a time to be alive.
I used to be prepared, ready every time it came. Had my outfits all this.
You got to.
Yeah, you had to.
Trying to have the bread trying to get your connections in.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna be at the door? Okay, you gonna bartend where?
Yeah.
Okay, gotta make sure you got your connections, baby. So you wanna be in the back of the line.
So we gonna ask you a few questions as far as what you doing. And it's funny that we're meeting with you today because I sold my first house today. It wasn't mine, but it was a home that I inherited from my family.
Congrats.
Thank you. But I feel like being that it was so many people involved, I just went with what they wanted. But if it was left up to me, I would have kept the house.
What city was it?
It's in Charlotte. It's off the plaza. I'm telling you.
Let me ask you this. Plaza, 28205 side or 28215?
28215. Wonderful house. Shouldn't have been sold.
How much I sold it for?
You're gonna leave when I tell you. $270,000.
So it was a fixer-upper?
No, it was being rented out. I feel like my aunt was tired of dealing with it. It was like 8 of us on the deed. And she was the one that was running it or whatever. And I guess she just got tired of dealing with the house or whatever. Yeah. But like I said, if it was left up to me to keep it, I would have definitely kept that house at that location. And that's the lack of knowledge that a lot of people know. She didn't even know what she had on her hands for real.
Yeah, because that area is like what the prices at now. It's just gonna get high over there.
Yes.
Like on tour to that. Yeah, that's
Land, good dry, like everything. Like it was a perfect location. So my question for you, how do you feel about selling property that you've inherited? What you think is the benefit of keeping it or selling it?
I mean, first of all, we brought up a good point. Like, look how many people involved in. So, we in Charlotte, North Carolina, unlike a New York City, right?
Right.
If 5 people inherited a house in New York City, but it rents for $5,000 a month, it's still not any money. But it's a lot more than even though Charlotte got high rents. They got very high rents.
Really do.
But it's in Charlotte, like splitting that rent, everybody just getting a few measly $100, and then taxes, property taxes, maintenance, insurance, everything else. I think in situations like that, when there's that many people involved, it's better to sell it because whoever left that house, well, they would rather you take that as seed money and move on to something bigger and better. Now, unfortunately, majority of Americans do not have $1,000 saved up. So as soon as they get some money,
It's gone.
it's gone. So hopefully, out of that 8, hopefully, 3 of y'all won't go, take that 7-day cruise or that vacation
Right.
you've been wanting, you know what I'm saying, or that surgery you've been delaying, you know what I mean, and just do the right thing with the money.
Right.
But I'm not against selling property when there's that many people involved. However, like if real estate is something you want to do, you're in it, and you got property inside the city of Charlotte, I wouldn't recommend, selling something like that.
Right. So my grandfather owns 2 homes in Charlotte, actually 3. Great locations. I grew up in one of them. I stayed in one of them. But from the knowledge that I've grown to learn here, I'm definitely not going to sell it because I'm going to inherit it. We've already had the conversation.
You solely or somebody else?
He's trying to decide if he's going to leave it to me and my brother or just me. Or, you know what I'm saying? But
now let me ask you this. How's your brother when it comes to finances?
so we on the same page.
That's good.
He's in LA. He's an actor. So we on the same page. We both like, we're not going to sell it. If anything, we were thinking about tearing it down and putting a duplex or, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
maximizing the location, putting more property
Yeah.
on it. But we're definitely not going to let it go. Definitely
Okay.
not going to let it go.
That's good. That's good because I see when people inherit it,
And they just sell it.
they sell it and be broke in a few more months.
Yes, because they don't know what to do with that amount of money. They just run through it. They don't think to invest anything in it. So if you get a lump sum of money, I think it is a good idea to invest it and not pay bills with it. Your bills are gonna get paid regardless. Once you get a lump sum of money, invest it in something. Like make something
For sure.
But I want you to educate yourself first for whatever you invest in.
Right.
Unfortunately, when people inherit inheritance things, is always the situations that end up the worst. They always not working.
Right.
They always not. So whenever that person passed, it wasn't working, just selling you hard times. And then they get this lump sum of money. Next thing you know, they balling on social media. And a few months later, either the house in foreclosure or they had to sell it for pennies and they broke again.
Uneducated, not educated on the things they can do. That's why we got you here. Give us some feedback. Help the Black community. Because I know I've seen people inherited homes and they're either struggling to keep it or they sold it.
Struggling to keep it.
A neighbor in a neighborhood that I grew up in, they're struggling to keep the home, but they need somewhere to stay. So it's, you know what I'm saying, they don't know what to do because even if they refinance it, they probably don't have the amount of the money to pay the bill for it. So miseducation is.
Yeah, and speaking on the miseducation, let's address that. Okay, so depending on how old y'all both look like, y'all in y'all 20s.
Ooh.
Period.
Thank you.
So,
Definitely not 20.
We're in our 30s, but thank you.
Okay, y'all both.
34 this year.
Okay, so I'm 41. So personally, if I go one generation up, my father was born during Jim Crow. My mother was born during Jim Crow. So to put that in perspective, um, guys, my when okay no. When Martin Luther King died, my father was 18 and my mom was 20 when he died. Now, my grandfather, the guy I grew up calling grandpa, he buried Malcolm X. Yeah,
Wow.
he buried Malcolm X. My mother used to march with Martin Luther King, whatever, because she was young. And from which I see with the MLK thing, like when Martin started, they was young. They was like 19, 20. Now, I think he did make it to like 30 something, and that's when he got assassinated. But they started off young because the older generation was content with yes sir, no sir.
Yes.
So I say that to say, so up until 1968, after MLK got assassinated, black people hit the streets, we rioted, we burnt this shit down. After we burnt it down, that's when we got the second set of civil rights. And during that second set of civil rights, that's when they allowed us to buy property in the event that we could afford it, buy it anywhere. Because prior to that, black people only had to own in certain places, probably where your grandparents had houses at. That's where they were allowed.
And houses were $10,000-$20,000 back then.
Correct.
What?
Yeah. So I say that to say we were kept out by information by law.
Yes.
So her grandfather, my parents, they were fighting for survival. They couldn't fight to thrive.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So this was done by government. Please keep that in mind that, and this is the time whereas we had the opportunity to educate ourselves. Yes, we were miseducated due to government. I sometimes online, some of these guys like to get online and blame it on black women having babies. They like to blame it on drugs in the community and all these things. No. This was done by government.
Yep.
By the laws.
Yes.
Just wanted to say that.
They definitely implemented everything that we're doing right now that they think is beneficial. It's actually keeping us in the box. As far as, for instance, right now they're talking about Trump getting rid of Medicaid and stuff like that. I hate it for the people that's stagnant, but I honestly feel like if you take this opportunity and run with it, you could change your life. Like, don't sit around and stay uneducated. Get out, get some information, buy some homes, just invest, get ready because these 4 years gonna be crazy.
Nah, 4 years gonna be rough, man.
Yes.
And listen, you know what I mean? I told people, man, like don't get caught up emotionally in this.
Yes.
Because all you're gonna do is stress yourself out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. He gonna do what he want to do. Ain't nobody gonna question it.
Yep.
So just work on yourself. This is the time to work on yourself.
And I was gonna say, it's so controversial as far as people like elderly people that's been living in these homes for years and years and years, and how people coming in gentrification and coming in and buying these homes and flipping them. How do you feel, does it affect these neighborhoods that's been around for years and years? Do you feel like it affects them negatively or positively? To me, I feel as though it affected positively, but people that like elders that been there for years, they have a different outlook. So what do you feel about that?
So for whatever reason, well, I'm not gonna say for whatever reason. I know the reason. Some of us, we have this this mindset, whereas only white people can have success. They can have clean.
Yeah.
They can be clean. They can have respect, etc. So in these neighborhoods, in the gentrification, I'm not so against it because, all right, a white man moves into a black neighborhood. Now all of a sudden, the blacks around it, they want to respect they want to respect that white person's property. They don't litter no more. They want to start cleaning up the act. And the white people, they call the police. Us in our neighborhood, we like, okay, well, that's Joanne's mother, that's on the corner. So I don't want to do that. Oh, that's my boy over there, poison in the community. I can't call the police for them. You know what I mean? We mind our business where they don't, but I just don't think that we should be waiting on somebody else to gentrify our community. That's something we could have did ourselves.
True.
Now, of any war, it will always be casualties of war. So the elderly are pushed out. And unfortunately, me being a real estate investor, I see so many times whereas the grandkids or whoever's around there, whoever's living in the house with grandma or grandpa, they're not educating them because Mecklenburg County has something. If you were a senior citizen, they will reduce your tax bill. But you have to go down there and talk to them. But with us, I'm second generation college graduate. So it's kind of rare you meet a black person my age that's third generation college graduate due to the law. You know, we was prohibited where we could go, etc. So I say that to say education is not common in some of our communities. We know how to fight, but we don't know how to properly, have the proper education to go out there and communicate. Whereas our white counterparts, they've been educated, so they know how to properly fight. They know how to go ask questions. They know how to go down to the city, etc., and do what they need to do. Meanwhile, we in the streets with our shirt off, just mad at the world, ready to swing on somebody.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And people need to realize that everything is negotiable. When it comes to bills, everything, I'm gonna negotiate everything. They tell my bill to turn around, I'm trying to negotiate their bill. I be getting it I'm telling you, they work every time. I negotiate my light bill, everything. You better go down there and negotiate your taxes.
No, for real.
You never know what outcome you may get.
Right.
All right, so I know it's so many different components of real estate that people can get into. Like you can get your license, you can be, what is it? You can be a third party person to, what is what in your mind to say what part of real estate that you wanted to play? Like, how did you come up with it? Because there's so many different spectrums in real estate that you can play. So what came to mind to you? Do you feel like, okay, you know what? I could play this position right here and I'm good at this.
All right, so I was attracted to like flipping houses.
Okay.
Because of the money you could potentially make and what they portray and show. So I've been involved in real estate since 2007, and I've been full-time at this since September 2012. That's when I got fired from my last job. And I'm a real estate investor. I'm not a licensed realtor. A licensed realtor, they go out and they sell and buy houses for people.
Right.
All right. Me personally, I don't do that. Me personally, I buy and sell houses for myself. So, everything is with me. So I'm not getting up Saturday morning, showing a couple those nice houses we see and hoping they put an offer in. I'm not trying to deal with the retail client. Right. So for me, I was lured in on the investment side because I always wanted to own. I've always been big on ownership, so I wanted to own properties, etc. I'm one of the few people, my dream was to become a real estate investor since 19. Right.
Because look, this is living proof right here that you can do it. When you follow him on IG, you will see him. This is living proof that it can be done.
He's out there every day in the streets. And then people, your information in your DM, I know he posted about the neighborhood that's got 2 bedrooms, 1 bath for like $13.50.
Yeah.
I sent that to like 4 people because I didn't know, and that's a great. I'm sure it's somewhere in the hood somewhere, but it is what it is.
It is not.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you got to start somewhere, right? And that's a definite great start. So when did you flip your first home, and was it a profit or like? How did
you lose the first time and you had to try again?
First time I lost. So I was 24, me and my man.
Was this in Charlotte?
This was in Jersey.
Okay.
It was in Jersey, 24 and 25. My man, we went and bought a house. We was inspired by flip the house shows, and we bought a house. We fixed it up. We ended up losing money. We didn't pay it. We did everything wrong. Looking back, everything wrong. But my introduction with real estate was losing money. But I was going in there to fix and flip, which is I came to find out is a very risky strategy to begin with. So I lost, but fortunately I was young, so I was at that point where I was just too stupid to quit. So just kept going with it, and it paid off.
Okay.
Do you so when you looking for homes to flip, what are some of the things you look for inside the home or outside the home that makes it a profitable flip?
All right, so I want the ugly house. I want the house that ain't been updated since 1972.
Y'all hear that?
You know what I'm saying? I want the ugly houses that need work in a nice neighborhood. When you're flipping houses, you have to think about your end buyer. Your end buyer cares about school zones, etc. So if it's a house that's straight hardcore hood, chances are you need to be looking at that as a rental property, because a family is not going to feel comfortable sign their name on a dotted line for 30 years and move in that neighborhood. So you kind of want somewhat of a, decent neighborhood, like a middle class neighborhood, even if it's lower middle class. You want something whereas they have a decent amount of owners and a decent amount of renters. When you have majority renters in the neighborhood, then I wouldn't recommend trying to flip there. I would recommend trying to have your rental property there, because what's going to happen when you go to the market and families see that area, they like, oh, I don't want my kids over there. So, that's just one of the things I look for in the neighborhood, and just looking for just an ugly house, houses that need work, houses that's toe up from the floor up.
How fast is it for people to purchase? Like after you purchase the home, is it 30 days or is it on the market immediately?
So after I buy the house, it might take me, I haven't done something that turned around 30 days in a while. Probably 3 months to 6 months to 9 months, depending on what I'm doing with it. If if it's $100,000 renovation budget, then for sure I know I'm looking at 6 months for sure. So, but once I put it on the market, I normally sell fast, but for the last 2 years, the market has been funny. And I got a house on the market in Rock Hill. I've been on the market for like 4 years. So, I'm sorry, not 4 months. I've been on the market for 4 months because it's just been slow. It's been super slow. So, yeah, I ain't never been on the market this long. And and everybody's dealing with the same thing.
In between the time of you waiting to sell a home that you flip, what are the fees that you're paying? Are you paying the mortgage on that house, the taxes, you still paying it?
Paying the mortgage. Taxes are normally, we pay at the end of the year, but I'm paying the mortgage.
Okay.
So I'm paying the mortgage on the property every month. So I'm going to have holder fees and everything else. Fortunately, the house I got on the market now, I bought it cash, but that sounds good, but it's as an entrepreneur, you're a risk taker.
Yes.
And sometimes the risks don't work out right.
Right.
Like right now, I probably got about somewhere between like 400,000 or 500,000 on the street, and it ain't come back yet. So you know what I mean? It happens, and I just
gonna come back. It's gonna come back at the right time.
I hope so. Because last year was rough. You know what I'm saying? So
It is.
yeah, but I don't have a mortgage on that property, and I got 2 commercial buildings, one of them empty. So I got caught up in a bad situation with that. So it happens. You know what I mean? And it's part of the game. You gotta take the wins with the L's.
You can't be scared to take a risk as an entrepreneur.
You cannot.
You don't win or lose, and you lose more when you don't take a chance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And also, so this is my last question. So what skills do you think an individual needs to have in order? I know we got to be risk takers, but as far as this type of industry, what skills do you think is important? And also, what is some advice would you give someone that's starting off in this industry?
All right. So the things you need to have is perseverance, determination, and be willing to be coachable.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Coachable. Okay.
Yeah. There are things money can't buy, and success is one of them. You know what I mean? Like, right now, for the last few years on the internet in the Black community, generational wealth has been a buzzword in the Black community.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. I was gonna mention it to you because we throw that word around so much in gentrification and really don't know.
And don't know neither.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about generational wealth is, on average in America, not just Black people, on average in America, generational wealth normally lasts one generation.
Yep.
All right. So there's few families who pass down and who pass down from generation to generation, which is rare. You got the Walmart family. You got these people who own these sports teams, etc. And it's a few other big names. Versace will be one of them. His people, they run that well.
The Rochesters.
The
Rochesters.
Those.
They run everything.
They run the world by this time.
I'm about to say that. Yeah. The Rockefellers, so this is
Rockefellers.
Yeah, you have few families who do it. The majority of it, I don't know the percentage, but the majority people with generational wealth, it lasts one generation.
That's true.
And the reason being is education. You can't just be happy you passing down something to the child. You gotta make sure you educate the property. If you look at the families who are keeping that generational wealth in the family, notice their habits. Notice who they put their kids around. They put their kids around the people they want to marry. You know what I mean? So they can keep that money going. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to it than just building up a bunch of stuff, because we all seen people inherit properties and they either lost them or they just blew the money.
Yeah. Or they'll let the state take it. Let the state take it. That's me and my land that I have. My grandma let the state take the land. I was so mad.
And then
I said, I'm gonna get my own land.
It's nothing she can do about it.
It's nothing I can do about it. No, unless
Not the state took it.
not the state take it.
If they sold it at auction, I know in South Carolina you got 10 years to come back and get it.
So is it true that I can purchase me some land for like $1,200?
So, Mom, have you heard of the land banks? Okay, we're gonna keep them too long. That's gonna be a jump to another.
All right, so it's true that you can buy land for $1,200. Normally, when people talk about that, it's tax sales. So here's the situation. In North Carolina, they got 5 years to come back. The original owner got 5 years to come back. They would have to pay you back the money you paid back at auction plus interest. South Carolina, they got 10 years. So for example, we in Charlotte, North Carolina. If I bought some land for $200 and I built the house there, and the house cost me $150,000 to get built. So I'm in $162,000, $1,200 plus whatever that is, right? Plus $150. If somebody get an attorney, right, and file a correct paperwork, they only got to pay me back $1,200 plus the interest rate every month, and that's all I get back. The money for the house, they get the house.
Oh wow.
You know, so it's risky doing it, and that's the part people don't talk about. And I had to learn that part the hard way, because I went through it. So I learned that part the hard way, and I was able to find the person that I need to find and pay them for their signature so I could have full ownership of the property, because I was going to build a house, and come to find out the dude he already talked to his attorney and everything. He was waiting for me to build the house to get done so he could come take it. But fortunately, I got up with him and I was able to pay him for a signature, and then move on.
I have one more question for you. Are there any sites that you know of that we can go visit to look at property or land in Charlotte, North Carolina, that can give us a rundown on what maybe?
I mean, if you Google tax sales in Charlotte, North Carolina, you'll see properties up there. I don't bid on those. I try to find the owner and go directly to the owner. The reason why I like to go directly to the owner to make my deals is just better, because in Charlotte, you're competing with a lot of money at the courthouse. People got a lot of money down there. Yeah, so I don't go that route. I try to go to the owner, and I haven't done this in years in Charlotte, but I got lots that I bought for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. And if you look on my Instagram, Real Estate DORU, hopefully they can put it in the description on the screen. I bought this lot in this neighborhood for $2,000, and then what I did, 3 years later, my man, he was like, "Yo, bro, I'll give you 90 for that lot." And I made a video about it on my Instagram. It went viral, and but I decided to hold it because I think that this neighborhood eventually get to where lots going for $200,000, and that's when I want to let it go at that point.
Okay. And one more question. Do you know any programs that help people purchase land or homes that they can go to with little to no money?
All right, so not necessarily land, but homes, absolutely. NACA,
okay.
NACA, and DreamKey.org. It's DreamKey.org. They will get you in a house with little to no money and with credit challenges. Okay. All right, so they'll give you the opportunity to own a home. Now with Dream Key, just being real, you're gonna be in the hood. Now, you might be somewhere where there's already gentrification started. You might be somewhere where it's active. For my hood people, I'm talking about active, whereas the drugs outside, the prostitutes outside, and you know what I mean, it go down. So, but you gotta look at the long run because I don't know what y'all call this neighborhood. Me not being from Charlotte, I call it Villa Heights. I think y'all call it North Charlotte.
Yeah.
So in North Charlotte, it was this neighborhood called Villa Heights, and maybe y'all can Google it if you're watching it. But probably about 10 years ago, you get a house in there maybe $40,000-$50,000. Today, 3,000 square feet in there is going for 1.2 million, and they knocking down. They'll pay 400,000 to knock down one of those little houses to build one of these mega houses. So they used to be active in it. So you get into a neighborhood and 10 years later, and you could sell it and profit that. Now you got 200-300K in your pocket, whereas you work in the job 10 years. If you leave the job, you just left. You don't get nothing. You don't exit. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. So we appreciate you so much for dropping by and dropping gems. And understand that this is the DORU, not the guru. Okay, and let them know why you the DORU and not the guru.
Because I actually do this business.
Okay, do this. Don't ever get it mistaken. Doing this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So y'all, we just wrapped up our 3rd episode with the DORU. Because he does this shit, and it's so great that we had him. We got some information. I hope y'all listen and take heed to what he was saying. It was very informative, especially for the people in North Carolina and surrounding areas. If you are interested in purchasing a home, flipping homes, go follow his Instagram handle ASAP. Tap into everything he's telling you because it's information that he's done. It's been done. He's did it. We just had one of the best guests. How you feel?
I love it. And then not only that too, not only that too, but also because you don't get wealthy by saving. You don't get wealthy just by working. You get wealthy by investing.
Yes.
Like that's the number one reason. Yeah, and taking chances and investing. And you got so many people that want to do something and time pass by and they realize they get mad at themselves and just mad at their current situation. Yes. But it's on you because you ain't take a chance and you ain't do it. So you can't be mad at nobody but yourself. We got the information for you. And information is on the internet as well. While you're on the internet strolling, follow people that's doing something.
Instead of
just strolling and drama and on what's that Shade Room and looking at drama and who in the city fighting and whoever.
Get your ass on Google.
Get on Google. Follow people that's really doing something. And you know what? And it's all about what you consume and who are you following. Like I don't want to follow I don't even want to follow the Shade Room. I don't follow them. I don't follow them too. All them gossiping pages. I don't care. I don't
it's
care.
It's all about what you see in your what is the word? Algorithm?
Yeah.
The algorithm is gonna put everything you search on your newsfeed. So you look up that drama every day. That's what it's gonna put on your newsfeed every single day. Like, and one thing for sure, I want y'all to get an understanding of: manifestation is one of your key points to success. You have to think it. You believe, you write it down, you think it, and you act and you move exactly how you want it to turn out.
Yeah, and it ain't about what you know, it's who you know. So you see how we locked in and moving in the city. We ain't playing.
Okay, no games at all.
We ain't playing.
About who you know because you can't make it to be successful by yourself. It's possible. You might get lucky, but you need a team.
You need a team.
And you need information from people that has already been through the things that you've been through, that you're trying to do. So
especially for people that got kids, just so you do everything for your kids, invest for your kids. Now don't just save, invest that money that you're saving for your kids. Just working a job and think you buying them shoes and clothes is doing something. No, baby. What about your kids' future? And just like you said, it stop at most of the time, it stop at one generation because of the lack of knowledge. That was a great point. That's so true. That's so true.
For one, we're the first of our generation to kind of take that leap of faith and try to change our circumstances for our whole family. And like he said, our grandparents were in survival mode. They did not even think or have the knowledge to even want better. They was okay with, my grandpa reminded me every day that he grew up in his shit house was outside. The house that he live in now is the first house that he had that had a running water, a bathroom. So he was okay with that and he's fine and he's happy, but it's time for us to take the knowledge from what they know and apply it to what we know now and give it to our kids so our kids can get better. It's supposed to get better
teach your
every
kids.
generation.
Yes.
Every generation, you're supposed to level up a little bit more, for sure. I know from our experience with our mothers, I always say this, we're just like our parents, but a little bit more street smart and a whole lot of more book smart. So it's starting with us.
And common sense. A lot of people that's book smart, they lack common sense.
Yes.
And street sense. Like, how you got all this knowledge, book smart, but common sense is out the window. How? But yeah, y'all. So more of the story is invest your money, play it smart, because as you see how the economy is going, they're not going to go in your favor if you want to just be on government assistance all your life.
They don't care about that shit. They trying to get rid of all of the government assistance programs, and it's not just to hurt black people.
It's trying to push you to do better.
It's for the minorities and for the poor. It's so many, poor white Mexicans. It's so many of us. They don't care about your skin color at this point anymore. They want the poor to stay poor
and the rich
to
stay rich.
So you keep that in mind. Stop thinking and taking everything personal. Yes, as black people, we have a hard time. We already got the odds against us.
But you know what? Rich people got hard time too, so pick your hard.
Yes, pick your hard. Like, you gonna sit around and be complaining about being black and having your odds against you all day, or you gonna get your ass up, get in the field,
learn a trade, learn something,
and get out here and change your life. It's either do it or don't. What are you gonna do? Like, that lazy shit is a no-no.
What? That's all.
You can't even be in my company if you're not trying to change your circumstances. Like, it's very important to strive.
And you know, it's like, what's so crazy? Every time, say me and somebody don't talk for hours or probably a day or two. Anytime we talk to each other, we got another game plan going.
I'm trying to
so what you doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing this, doing that. Oh, what you doing? Oh, I just got this. I just got that. We always got something going. So it's all about the company you keep as well, whether it's a relationship, a friend, a family, or a foe. Be company you keep, because like we said before, energy is so transferable. Put yourself around positive people and people that's doing stuff in life, like that's really doing, not just talking about it. A lot of people want to talk about it, but they're not really doing it. Though he say a DORU, because he's doing it. Put people around you that's really doing. And we appreciate everybody that's watching Hey Mama Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe.
Third episode, we done dropped some gems on y'all. I hope y'all take heed, because this was very, very informative for us.
Yes.
If you are very serious about changing your circumstances, flipping homes is one of the easiest ways to get out of your struggle. Exactly. And I'm on it now. Like, that's my next thing that I'm finna focus on. I'm definitely about to flip me a house or two.
Exactly. And we got some more heat for y'all too. Stay tuned.
Period. Yes, so we got the Timbos, throwback, real classy. You feel me? We got the Gucci. We doubled the pants. I really made these. They Levi's. Check me out.
No, okay, custom
pants. Okay. Yeah. Got the jacket on. Yeah, check me out.
Okay.
Check me out now.
Okay.
Hey, check me out now.
Hey. Okay, so we got the A6, you know, quick little running shoe, but you know, you can look classy. You can do a little anything with them, you know. So jeans are from Fashion Nova. Let me see how it's looking. Let me see how
that ass sitting. It's sitting.
Yeah. It's bigger than 2 bunk beds. Yeah. Okay. So we got jacket from Fashion Nova as well. Okay, we got a shirt from Zara. Is that how you pronounce it, Zara? Okay, yeah, I got it on one at Zara. Bag Chanel.
Chanel-y.
What my grandma can say? She said, bad bitches get gifts, and that's word to the bride I'm in, but that's word to the, you know, bag I got. Bad bitches get good gifts, that's word to the bag I got.
Okay.
You know, that's about it. You feel me? You know, just something light. Just something light. We ain't gotta do too much.